Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to Moscow, and welcome to my comfy sofa at home. No, I'm here at SWED House here in Moscow, the grand opening and the first store in Russia. That's this Russian IKEA. Let's go check it out. Now, before we go for a walk around, I just want to kind of disclose a few things. So basically, I came here a few hours ago thinking the store would already be open, and it wasn't. Now, all the balloons are up outside, there's a DJ playing, there's a guy on the microphone welcoming everybody, but it's not opening for about another hour. So I was very fortunate to get a chance to come in here ahead of time, and these are all of the VIPs, some of the press. Now, you'll see over here in the distance, there's some of the TV stations interviewing. This is the director of the company here. So I met him when I first came in, which was kind of neat. So yeah, I just want to disclose that I'm basically here just ahead of time. Actually, it's worked out good because I can walk around without the big crowds behind me. Now, this would actually be the normal entrance right here where I'm standing. So everybody's sort of still outside. There's a lot of kind of people starting to gather around now. Some of the staff are here as well. They're just making sure everything's got the right ticketing and pricing. What's the first thing we see? The famous shark right here at the entrance. And of course, so the one thing that I'm going to just talk about a little bit in this video is about the SWED House kind of concept. Now, these guys originally are from Belarus. This is the very first location in Russia that's opening literally in about an hour from now, depending on how long I take to film this. Of course, there's going to be some aspects that don't look very IKEA-like. So the baskets and the trolleys, of course. And then there's going to be a lot of things that look exactly like IKEA. Now, the brand, of course, SWEDHouse. Now, I keep wanting to say SWEDHouse with a V, but it's got a W in it. But the way I'd always kind of butcher all of the words in Russia, you know, I'm going to mix it up without a problem. So everything you're going to see in the store here is exactly what you'd be used to seeing in IKEA. Now, a lot of the brands, or a lot of the products here are actually from the same manufacturers that were making the products for IKEA in Russia. So now what we're going to see here, I'm just going to point this out because you're going to see here this SWED House, these kind of coring tools. I'm not sure what they call them. And if we go right over to the next product over here, you'll see IKEA's right on the logo right here. So this product was basically made for IKEA, probably last year or before that. So these guys, whoever this manufacturer is basically now stuck without anywhere to sell it, right? So SWEDHouse has kind of stepped in and said, we'll take all of your products. Over time, we'll basically rebrand it and put the SWEDHouse packaging and the labels and the swing tags and everything on, and it will all become SWEDHouse. But essentially what you're seeing is a kind of a city version of IKEA, but it's now called SWEDHouse. Now, whether you're an IKEA fan or not, I mean, the video is really kind of just to point out this new store opening. Now, I knew about this 3 months ago, 6 months ago, and I've been waiting for the day that this was going to open, and today is the day. Now, I'm not too sure what this is called, but I'll call it a candy jar or a lolly jar. Now, this label underneath is kind of interesting because, of course, we can see the label for IKEA, and it basically says imported to England by IKEA in Milton Keynes, UK, made in China. Now, not everything that IKEA sells or sold was ever made in Sweden. It was never made in Russia. It was made all over the world. And of course, China is a big manufacturing hub for every product. But just interesting when you see some of the logos underneath, or the stickers, and the manufacturing. And of course, we know things are made in China, but of course, a lot of things are also made here in Russia, made in Belarus, and kind of from all over the world. But how interesting is that label there with the English import sticker on it? Just walking around a little bit more, it's kind of like looking in my apartment here in Moscow and in Australia as well. So many things that we've had in our different apartments here in Moscow are things that we bought in IKEA. Now, my wife's not been able to come shopping in one for a year. Now, we were just in Australia, but we obviously made a decision not to buy things and bring back here because we didn't have a lot of room in our luggage. But my wife's going to be probably more happy this store's open than me. Maybe my wallet's not going to be so happy, but she's going to be able to come here now and grab all the things that we need. Things like these, the coat hangers. I like these wooden ones. I'm not a big fan of plastic coat hangers. So all the things that we've always had, we'll now be able to get here. And I think there's not a lady in Russia who doesn't own candles from IKEA. You know, they don't have the full selection of them here. They do have some of the IKEA logoed ones. And then a lot of them are the SWEDHouse logoed ones. So it'll really depend on the product when you come in here, which product's got the SWEDHouse logo, which one doesn't. Because basically these manufacturers have basically said, well, we'll send you the goods, put it on the shelf. As it sells through, then we'll change over to the SWEDHouse logos. As was famous in the IKEAs, the plush toys are all here. So the snake is still here. And the famous shark, the dolphin, but the famous shark is back in Russia. So come in here quite a bit earlier than everybody else, and the regular customers, I'm a regular customer, but it's just interesting, you know, all of the press and photographers and guys with the cameras waiting for the kind of opening and the countdown, and then just walking around. So these city stores, they've got these, I think, in different places in the world. I know they had IKEA city stores here in Moscow, and I'm not sure around the world. I've never seen one in Australia because we've only got the full line IKEAs, but these are intended to be kind of a reduced size store, and they've still got some furniture, so things like the sofas and the tables and chairs, and then even the TV cabinet we didn't have this exact one, we had the same one but with different handles in Australia, so you can actually still order the furniture. Now they do actually have already online shopping that you can do through the local Russian websites, Wildberries, but they don't have their own online shopping yet. And I emphasize yet because that seems to be the thing that the staff are sort of mentioning when I'm talking to them. Everything's coming soon. Now I feel like I'm kind of behind the curtain here, or behind the glass door, because all of the press and the media and all the people from SWEDHouse, the management, are here for the opening, and the first people to come through the store here are kind of built up. There must be a bit of a countdown about to happen, I wonder, so it's very interesting. Now this guy talking here is actually the director of the company. He's doing a bit of a speech just to welcome everybody and invite everybody here. So, he's even got the scissors to cut the rope opening. Oh, gold scissors. Very fancy. So, check this out. Whoa! So the host on the microphone's explaining about the grand opening, and shoppers can come on in. And there we go. Wow. Now we're going to get a little bit crowded with people here in a second, but very interesting, I think, for everybody to see the grand opening. And as the crowds stream in here, I'm not going to be able to walk around at all now, so I'm very happy I managed to do the video a little bit earlier on the opening, because now people are coming everywhere. Now the one thing that's interesting, they've opened the store in reverse, so now everybody's coming in the exit, because that's actually the registers over here where you actually pay and check out, and where I started the video was the entrance. So everyone's going to be wandering around now doing some shopping, and everybody's, I think, happy, I think. So I haven't seen anybody without a smile on their face yet, but of course, you know, Russia is the way it is like this, where, you know, everyone doesn't always look happy, but I think with the opening of the SWEDHouse, or the Belarusian IKEA, I think all the ladies can now breathe a sigh of relief. They can buy their kitchen utensils, they can buy some furniture, and their house can get back in order again after a year. They've been waiting for this store to reopen. So 1 minute I felt like I was the only person in the store, and the next thing, the whole store is crowded. And there is people literally everywhere. Of course, everybody that came in at the initial opening, and then now everyone is just wandering around, having a look. There's obviously a lot of curiosity to the store as well. You know, I think a lot of people maybe thought the store was going to be a bit bigger, but this is the first one in Russia, and this is basically a bit of a test for how successful the brand will be going forward. I mean, I'll be very curious how much sort of business they've done by the end of the day. Even the staff have got the same yellow shirts on. Everything is very, very much replicated from what IKEA was. And I think everybody looks happy. Maybe the men aren't so happy, but the ladies for sure. There's definitely some sense of happiness here, and the registers now are ringing away. So everybody can now start making purchases. I'm trying to get in there, but you know how it is. Everybody's kind of crowded around. I hope this is kind of interesting. I think it is. But yeah, the amount of people that have kind of come into the store. And I think, you know, when you ever watch like the news on TV of a new store opening, or you see the photographs and the camera guys behind there filming somebody making a purchase and a checkout, and the cameramen back here are kind of waiting for that perfect photograph, you know, somebody making a purchase. And these ladies have been waiting all morning, I think, to do this and get this working. And already a small line is forming, which is good. Good for business. And everybody's just, I think everybody's just curious, and they're really looking for those IKEA products that they've missed for so long. Now, as I stand here with all the crowds kind of streaming in now, I do have one question. Now, I've sort of talked about it through the video, but if you were a fan of IKEA and IKEA closed in the country you're from and another store opened with the same products that were from the same company, the same factory, the same manufacturers, is it a big deal? Does it really bother you that there's a different sticker on there? I mean, it's obviously a little bit strange today walking around seeing a lot of IKEA stickers and barcodes on the products, but obviously over time it'll change a little bit. But that one question, does it bother you that there's such a change in the store here? Now, SWEDHouse is still IKEA to me. It's just this is a smaller version, but let me know in the comments what you think. Are you okay with SWEDHouse having the IKEA products in the store? Okay, so I was going to try to walk around the store one more time, but considering the amount of people here now and the lines for the registers, it's very, very, very difficult to try to walk around. Everybody's super happy though that you can buy everything as it was a year ago. Even these cameramen are trying to get out of here now, but it's nearly impossible to have a full walk around now. So I finally made it outside the store anyway, and there's not as many people gathered around outside now. I think a lot of people are waiting for their friends or family who are in there shopping, because initially it was quite busy. They do sort of have this two-door system. This is the door you're meant to go in and then exit out the other side, but they've got a register here and they've got a register on the other side, so I guess they're just going to have two doors and it's going to work. So SWEDHouse, the first store in Russia, open. Okay everybody, I've come to the end of the video. I do hope this has come out okay. I'm not too sure how I filmed it and how I let it together, so I hope it's come out good. Now again, just want to talk about that kind of difference. So SWEDHouse is a Belarus company that's come into Russia, and this is their first store. They have a few stores already in Belarus, but basically they're selling the IKEA products. Of course, we saw some with the IKEA logos on, but a good amount of the store has got the SWEDHouse logos on them. So they're basically using the same manufacturers, the same factories, the same companies that were basically making the products for IKEA, but they're selling it under the SWEDHouse logo, like you've seen. So I'm completely happy with it. Now, I'm sure there's going to be people who are not kind of happy with that kind of setup, and a lot of people are going to go back to where McDonald's changed to Kuzny Itochka, where Starbucks became Stars Coffee, but retail is retail, and making money is the kind of key to any retail business. And this company, I think, is going to do well, especially every lady in Russia now has got an avenue to come shopping, and they can come to SWEDHouse and find what they want. Now, I just want to point out this store right here. Now, of course, we've talked about SWEDHouse a fair bit. So Mother Bear used to be Mother Care, and they've opened under the Mother Bear brand, but essentially it's the same products. Now, if we literally swing around to the other side of the center here, and we can see here Mir Kubikov, or World of Bricks, and this was Lego, and it's still Lego. They're still selling the exact same products, same label, same logos, just that Lego word has disappeared from the front of the store, but kind of ties into the same video that we've made. So thanks everybody for watching the video today. Traveling with Russell. I'm back in Moscow, back making videos. I hope you like this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Definitely post a comment, let me know what you think. I've given you a few ideas to kind of comment on. Let me know. I put another video for you to watch after this one, if you want to watch another video on the channel, maybe something you've not seen before, and I'm off on another adventure. Bye everybody.